John here for another episode of Loose Threads for Ugly Thirds. I have a goal of having every single Penguins jersey ever. That's one of the things well, I mean, I don't mean like literally, but like every little version, and there have been a ton of little versions. I'm about to get into probably the most obscure of them. Yeah, I've done some other ones. Like these, which, yeah, I need to do another set of this. But in the meantime, the Penguins changed their blue and never really told anyone, never said much. It's never brought up. But I found this pennant when I was out antique shopping, and yeah, that's a very different blue than the baby blue we deal with. In looking through the references and the resources, including some very old hockey books that just happen to have a lot of really good photos of this stuff, I gotta have that one too, I guess. It wasn't really in my initial plans, but the good news is that my people at Sublimation Kings count simple recolors as the same as a regular order. So whenever they had their Black Friday sales, they had a steep discount on the standard jersey, and I already bought all the standard jersey things that I could use. And then I asked the question, I'm like, yeah, we can recolor. So I needed one of these in these colors, which, much closer to a royal blue. And so I got this, as well as the white that goes with it, and the one other version that I needed to round out that part of the set. And the idea is that, I bought a crest, which we'll put on, and I bought jersey numbers, just loose numbers, because, well, they didn't wear names with these. And customized sports is amazing, though they do take some time. And it's a flat fee. It's the same price whether you have a nameplate or not. And it's like when it comes to a simple one color number, I can go to Homegrown Sporting Goods and get this for, $7, and then buy my sleeve numbers for $1.50 each. I can get away a whole lot cheaper than if I buy a full set. And when it's this simple, and it's a basic block font, it feels very silly to try and buy a whole set. So we're going to put this together. It's going to be an Andy Brown, the last guy to not wear a goalie mask in an NHL game. Hard to find a more brutal guy, a bigger, tough guy in NHL history. And I think this is going to be a fun one to put together. Very happy about this one. Now, look, I'm a big fan of Homegrown Sporting Goods, and they are not sponsoring this. I wish they would, because I'd love to get a bunch of free stuff from them. But the one pain in the neck they have is this outer edging. They do it as part of the laser cutting process, and they told me they can't not do it. But what it does is it seals it, because twill will fray like nobody's business if you let it. And so having that seals it. So, I mean, most teams just take this and heat press it on and be done with it. I don't. I stitch it all. So I need to cut all of this off because it catches on everything and it just feels awful. And I'm just not a big fan. So I'm not going to show that whole process because it's all sorts of tedious, and it doesn't look like much because I'm just getting in close. But I am trying to take off none of the actual twill and just kind of shave off the bumps as best as I can. And I'm going to have to do this for both back numbers and all 4 sleeve numbers, and I'll have to get back to you after that's done. By the way, if anyone knows of any good customization companies that don't do this, that don't have this problem, there's a lot of really shady websites out there. I've already learned, I don't buy from them if they don't have PayPal checkout as an option, because at least that's a little more protection for my card, and PayPal has gotten me refunds before when sellers are just dark. So if anyone has some good suggestions, throw them in the comments. Like I said, I like Homegrown. I've had good experiences so far, but if I can skip this step, of which I'm not the biggest fan, I will. It's really that simple. So let me know. All right, I have spent literally the last 20 minutes aligning this, trying to get it exactly right. I think it's right. Part of the problem is that The reference photos I have make it look like they had room for a nameplate if they wanted it, which national TV broadcast usually asks for. But I haven't found one with an actual name on the back, so we're going to do it like this and hope for the best. Okay, well, they're definitely down. When I should have used, I had it right next to it, I completely forgot. So it's there. I want to hang it up and see if it looks decent. Well, I noticed where you can very clearly see what didn't go down. So I'm going to put that through again using the sheet this time, one number at a time under the focus. But at least now that it's positioned, it shouldn't move, and I shouldn't have to worry about that. So honestly, I'm satisfied. At least I am until I look at it later and go, oh my god, it's crooked. So too late now. Second go, note the sheets. Okay, that is very clearly down. I'm going to give it a second to cool and shift it over. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I don't even have to hold that. Or just move the whole process. Yeah, there you go. All right. Can I actually get the whole thing? Better make sure it actually gets the whole thing if I'm going to do the whole thing. All right, now that's ready to be stitched down. I'm hoping they're not too far off because I'm already saying like, oh, do those line up perfectly anymore? It's fine. It's fine. I mean, this is why people go to the pros. But I mean, that's pretty good. All right. Now that these numbers are down and close enough, let's go ahead and put a stitch, zigzag. Settings, two width, one length. Let's just get around it. And the idea being that you want one through the number and one off the side of the number, which kind of contains it the entire time. So let's put that around. So I realized that I probably should have done this on a 3 width. 2 is usually what I reserve for sleeve numbers. But it doesn't make a huge difference, and I couldn't figure out why it looked off, and it's because the lasered in version is there as well, so it's not going to look significantly different. And on jerseys from this far back, who knows what they actually did. It's not like there's anything with standardized with any of this. I'm going to keep it consistent. I'm just going to keep a two width throughout. Because I think the inconsistency would be noticed far more than, oh, your stitches don't seem wide enough. Again, who's going to actually care on a lot of this stuff? Okay, well, there's the back numbers done. Not bad. Just got to trim off those loose threads and be done with it. All right, so I got to place the sleeve numbers, and using the stripes on the jerseys, and I love when this happens, that there is a fold. It's much more obvious on this one than it is this one. There seems to be some extra folds on that one. Because that fold tells you the middle of where these numbers need to be. So placing them, that is one fewer variable to really worry about. So make it 2 inches from the bottom. I have real issues with anything slightly crooked, anything slightly misaligned, and frankly astounding. I want to line off just ever so slightly. It's also possible exactly the same height, and you don't even know. Alright, we'll put that over, and when I'll get some width. Half inch width. So you gotta figure out some like guides or something, little tools to make it help set this up. Anyone watching knows of some kind of guide tool that download and make yourself or buy. Please let me know in the comments or on Instagram. Here's my I have a lot of things. It's just terrible. How do you know that? Tree saw, I didn't. Wait, my name's Leo. Alright. So we'll let that go. And hopefully that's not too close to the edge that it actually gets put down. All right, let's do this. So, yeah, I'd say they're down now. They just need stitched. All right, got to stitch the sleeve numbers on now. Now, if I have this right, which there's no guarantee that I do, you turn it inside out, and then you turn one sleeve right side out, still inside the jersey, and then you're able to work on it like such, which, I mean, yeah, I guess that works, right? I mean, where's that from? Yeah, okay. So let's get this on the machine, zigzag around it, the usual. Okay. All right. Let's get this on here, and we'll start down here on the 3. I mean, there's still a lot to move around, but man, is that easier than trying to stick it in the sleeve and just figure it out. Oh, come on, no. Bobbin issues. No. Oh, that's not good. It's not good at all. That's not good at all. What? Okay, well, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be, I suppose. Something got caught on itself, I guess. So let's trim all that back and finish this off because it's so close to being done. And let's hope that doesn't keep being a problem. We'll see how crunchy it sounds. Well, part of it might be returning it back in where it was, and rather than advancing the needle. I was always told that's a bad thing to do, but never told why. I may have just discovered why. Alright, well that's the 3 done, and usually I would just keep going, but with those bobbin issues, I'm going to pull this off and make sure it's doing what I want it to do. Like Let's clean that up a little. Yeah, I mean, there's worse. There's way worse. All right. Let's get the 0 done. Okay, so this lace-up has just been annoying me. Is there a right way and a wrong way? No, not really. But I know what I've always done, what I grew up on. Probably should cut out this back part, because that was never a thing before. But, you know, how much do I care about that, really? And the CCM way that I experience most, I might have to pull that out, is that. And so, that's fixed. So the last thing to do then, and I did this deliberately so I wouldn't have to worry about folding it in the machine, is to put on the crest. And first off, this is so old that I have my doubts that the glue even works. So I'm tempted to not even bother with the heat press. I might not, honestly, because this is it's old. I mean, these were all made in the 70s and 80s. Put that on, and honestly, in order, I think, to get it to look right, because looking right is more important than any kind of measurement that you can get, I think I'm going to throw this on and stand in front of the mirror and take a little bit of the fabric adhesive and just place it. And then we'll spread it out and make sure it makes sense. But, like, the visual, I think, is going to be the most important part. So I'm going to go do that, and I feel like that's going to look embarrassing. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so little bit of adhesive in the center. I just kind of want to confirm that, I mean, is it remotely centered? Because, like, I mean, yeah, that's 9 inches on each side. I mean, it looks a little off. It looks a little off. But at least I wanted to make sure the height was right. The triangle, about 8.5, 9. But with this, it's just got to be a little off. It's a little off center. I think that works. Now, I've done ones before. You know, is this? Oh, look at the difference in blue. You have this over a bit further this way. So, again, it's like 9 exact. It's like 9. Okay. So, now I gotta put it. Oh, that's not good. Well, I'm told it washes off, so let me put on the rest of this, and then I'm gonna. Mistakes were made. I'm gonna go wash. So all sorts of mistakes were made. And I rinsed out, and everything where I hit hand soap, it came out. and then hanging it up to dry, the crest fell off overnight. So I'm just going to do this the smarter way. I measured how far down it looked natural. I'm going to spray this in the box and place it on and then give it a stitch. Probably what I should have done from the start, but where's the fun in that? So I'm going to do that, and we're going to go from there. And yeah. All right. A lot of extra spray because I know, well, I'm not going to be able to heat press this down. And I recall about how far it is. And maybe do it slightly lower than that. And 1/2, 9. Seems to be slightly. Wait. Yeah. Probably should just be using this point straight down from the center. That would be smart. So, and then do I have it crooked? I hope it's not crooked. I sure hope it's not crooked. Okay. I'm going to throw it on just to be sure. I think that'll help. Just to make me feel better before I put a stitch on it. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely crooked. So I adjusted a bit, and I think that looks how it's supposed to look. I think. So we'll throw a stitch on it, and that's the end of this story. All right, I am going to spread this out a little bit more just because of how chunky this crest is, and I've done enough of these that I'm going to give myself the forgiveness of a wider width on and off because I do want to make sure this thing stays on. And I am going to have to be careful because, I mean, for a while I've been able to do the heat press and not have to worry about anything stretching. I don't have that luxury here, though. The glue is going to do better than Fabric Fusion was just because the glue is everywhere. But having pulled the crest off a few times, it's going to be far from perfect. So I think I'm wrong on that width, too. It's crisscrossing the entirety of the crest. So I'm actually going to shorten it to 2. And it's going to run straight down the middle and off. I think it'll be slightly better. So these older crests were made to be put on by local shops like Sears, Montgomery Wards. And so they're actually fewer curves. The more modern crests will cut out that bit of stick and create some really awkward angles. They don't here because, well, they wanted to make it easier for a shop to do. You can see the same chunkiness here that I don't believe is on the modern crest. Oh, it does help if I put the foot down, though. All right, well, I wanted to show off the finished product first. I'm quite pleased, and honestly, it looks pretty good. It looks like a jersey off the rack. It's certainly not something you're going to see anywhere else. It looks unique, but yet with that flash of black and gold, it somehow looks right. Like it's odd how well it just kind of is, even though it would never fly by modern standards. And I think that's fun. I think that's very fun. So that wraps up this one. that I have a couple other I need to put together. So the counterpart to this has a really unique nameplate font, so I'm going to have to go to Customized Sports for that one. Not gonna assemble that one on my own. So other videos will be coming. I got more jerseys to customize, and from Sublimation Kings for doing this. They did a great job with the base jersey. And yeah, so I'm John for Phil and Shrimps. Join me back here on another Loose Threads for Ugly Threads.